Hello all and welcome to another video of mine. Today I'm going to review an Artic Field Ration, which is a Norwegian Army MRE. This is menu number 14 and the best before date is the 9th of September 2026, which is still a good year and a half from shooting this video. Now, I've had these menus before and they're really good. I just never recorded it on camera. The main in this is Pasta Provence, which I presume to be a vegetarian main. And the menu is quite light and compact, and it contains 1300 calories. So without further ado, let's open the ration up and see what we get. In the corner, there's an easy peelable seal that just opens the ration up like this. It's quite condensed. So first up, we have a real on-the-go caramel bar. Then we got a little pot of 22 grams of liver pate. We have a disinfectant wipe, Polder Mill Colombian coffee. As a Dutch person, I always find it quite funny that they use this name, Polder Mill, because it has nothing to do with Colombia as far as I know. We have this Army Ration chewing gum peppermint, 2 pieces of that. Then we have our real field meal from Drytech, Pasta Provence. This main will make 520 grams of prepared food once rehydrated and will contain 700 calories. So quite a substantial meal. And all of the freeze-dried rations I've had from Norwegian MREs, really good. Then we have our plant-based spoon, pretty tiny wooden spoon. Not sure if that's gonna hold up. Then we get 42 grams of raisins. Then we have whole wheat bread made by Bridgeford. We get 57 grams of that. And finally, we have our energy drink with a taste of peach, also made by Real on the Go. This was 30 grams of powder and only needs 3 deciliters of cold water. So it will be quite a concentrated drink. Finally, we have a Ziploc trash bag. First up, I'm gonna rehydrate the main, so that won't take too long. This is our Pasta Provence. It comes with a nice ternach. Here's a close-up. It looks pretty chock full of beef, and besides that, I think we can see some freeze-dried tomato sauce, and then there's macaronis in there, or pasta. And as a final interesting fact about this packaging, it comes with 2 ternaches. So here you tear it, and you add the water, then you mix it, and then you tear the second one when you want to eat it, and there's also a fill line. So a pretty foolproof freeze-dried main. And I tore it off already, but on the top you can see the best before date for the main, which is September 2030, which means that if this ration has been made in 2022 or 2023 for a shelf life of 3 to 4 years because of other components, that would mean that this main has a maximum shelf life of 8 to 7 years, but probably it would be good for many years after that. So let's add the boiling water. And here it is with the water. Let's just stir that with the quite short spoon. Then we close our Ziploc and we can let it rest for at least 8 minutes. And while it's rehydrating, let's make our Polder Mill Colombian instant coffee. It doesn't say how much is in there as far as I can tell. This is how that looks like. There's very big crystals in that little pouch. And there you can see them, big firm crystals. And let's add our water like that, probably 150 milliliters. Then I'm gonna stir it with the other side of our spoon. Let's also make our energy drink with a taste of peach. So here's our bag, also with a ternach and a Ziploc. Could probably even drink it from the bag if you need to. And there it is. The powder is a little bit stuck. And there's a close-up of it. It's a little bit blobbed up, so probably we'll need to mix this well. Add 300 milliliters of water. It's already starting to foam a little bit, so let's give this a good mix. And it smells very sweet and very artificially like peach. Then I guess as a starter, we should get our liver pate, 22 grams of that, which is very hard to open. And it smells actually more like canned meat than like liver pate, but let's see. And I guess this is the perfect combination for the whole wheat bread. And there's our whole wheat bread, which looks quite nice. It feels quite moist still. And before I actually will use the liver pate, I'll try a little bit on its own. And here you can see it, quite a thin crumb, not very dark. It does have a quite whole grainy taste to it. There's a little bit of MRE bread sweetness that you have in almost all bread products in rations. But overall not bad. A little bit dry, but what can you expect? You probably also need to really eat it with something else. Then we have our little pot of liver pate. Here we have it. It's very runny, almost like a mousse. You don't get a lot of it for quite a big bread, so you need to make it count. And that is a very fine liver pate. You almost don't really taste that it's liver pate, it's just like potted meat until the very end. And it's very spreadable, so this is almost like liver butter or something like that. It's very creamy. So I'm gonna add some of that to our bread and we can make a little liver pate sandwich. So here we have it, let's try. And honestly, that's not bad. The flavors sort of nullify each other, and it does give a good amount of fat to the quite dry bread. So overall, as far as liver pates go, this is a really good one. You don't really taste that it's liver, except at the very end. It's very creamy, spreadable, and the bread isn't bad either. Just very little things to do with it in this ration. And to wash it away, I will drink some of the peach drink. That's actually quite refreshing. It has sort of a peach iced tea flavor to it. So there's a little bit of sugar that's not dissolved, but is quite sweet. Probably around 10 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters. And then let's try our caramel bar. The best before date on this is literally the 9th of September 2026. So I presume that's also why the best before date of the entire ration is the 9th of September 2026, because often it is the lowest best before date that determines the whole best before date of the ration itself. Well, there's definitely something else than raisins in there. There's probably Rice Krispies and soy and glucose syrup, so all of the other things that you have in these normal energy bars. But let's give this a try. So yeah, that is a really tasty energy bar. You can definitely taste the salt caramel. It is very sweet, obviously, very nice and chewy, but quite a subtle flavor as well. So it's not just sweet, but more also a little bit salty because of the caramel. So I think as far as these kind of energy bars goes, really nice. And then finally, we have quite a nondescript pack of raisins, 42 grams of that. Just regular, plain old sultanas. Not too big, not too small. Let's put those here. Still a reasonable amount, 42 grams. And there they are. So let's try. And those are just like regular store-bought raisins. They have a nice natural sweetness to it. They're still very fresh and probably also very healthy to have in a ration. But yeah, nothing very special. And then finally, we have our main event, the Pasta Provence. And as it is folded out now, here's a closer look at the ingredient. As a main ingredient, we have pasta, followed by beef and then potato starch. Then as flavoring, we also have meat bouillon and some tomato paste. There's not a huge amount of flavorings in there. There's also some rosemary. Let's get this out on the tray. So all of the beef was on top and all of the pasta was on bottom. And then you have it in this sauce with beef bouillon, meat extract, and tomato paste. And the portion just about fits the main compartment. So it's a really good serving size. And here you have a close-up of it on the quite flimsy wooden spoon. Quite small, especially for the amount of food. So excited to give this a go. That was absolutely fantastic. I have no idea how they can make this freeze-dried food so good in these Norwegian rations. It has rehydrated really well. There's still a little bit of texture in the meat, Pasta is not even too soft, which for a freeze-dried main is quite spectacular. It is extremely savory, and the beef is almost like freeze-dried kebab. A very meaty sauce. It almost looks like gravy. So that is really fantastic. It is literally like gravy, kebab meat, and pasta. And even without the meat, here is some of the pasta. You can see some of the rosemary in there. So let's try it on its own. And even just the pasta tastes really well. I think this is the best pasta I've ever had in MRE. Any other time I've had pasta, it is super soggy, and this is just really nice. So overall, this is a fantastic meal. I think the main is an absolute banger. And I'm saying that without having tried the coffee, because I already know this coffee, and it is also very good. So I'll just take a sip. And this is a coffee that's very close to the French MRE coffee that I had recently. Just really nice, robust, slight hint of bitterness, but very easily drinkable. I think the only downside of this ration is that you have this bread and quite a small tub of liver pate to combine it with. I think with these Norwegian rations, you can really not go wrong. All of them have high quality components, almost no bad components, and they are extremely light and compact for what you get. So yeah, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and for my next review, I'm gonna review an 8-hour Swedish ration. So I'm gonna stay in Scandinavia, and I also have some new 24-hour rations coming up, including a Danish one and a Dutch one. So let me know in the comments which one you would like to see after the Swedish ration. So thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.